Camera 1 rolling. Camera 2 rolling. Remarkable performance, number 4. Alright, so from an off position, this unit is a little while taking on. So it turns on via this single button here. Push and hold. And it'll boot up. Takes a fair amount of time to boot up. You wouldn't want to turn it off just before you walk into a meeting. This is way too long. Though it's a quick boot, compared to a PC, it's still not what you want to be doing when someone's saying, hey, here's my phone number, and you want to write down, or here's an email. It does have a sleep mode, so now that's powered up. You can see, once again, just tap that button once, it goes to sleep quickly. Now it's saving power. Quickly tap it again, it's back up. So that's pretty instantaneous. Most of the settings are achieved through here. The device, really very little settings here. Your account, that's interesting how this works. I'll explain that in a little bit. Wi-Fi, I haven't been able to connect it to my office Wi-Fi, which is a real problem. WPA2 Enterprise. A lot of the advantages from this comes from its Wi-Fi connectivity. Power, allowed to sleep, turn off. One of the interesting things is the power indicator here, you never get a number, you only get an icon. Tell you how much storage is in use, security. You can set a passcode, which is a great idea because unlike a piece of paper or a notebook, you can secure this so if it gets lost you don't lose or people don't get access to it. Really, that's about it. Most of the other stuff is set on the computer. As I mentioned, you can create folders. You can tap on the folder, that gets you into the folder if you hit the 3 buttons. Now you can actually rename it right here. This, I just call it meeting. And I can use my finger or the stylus. Say OK. And I've renamed this folder and go into the folder. And as I mentioned on previous videos, if I create a notebook in this folder, it will actually create the notebook in the folder of where I was. One of the things I wish is I had to set my favorite pen type, and now I'm going to go in and pick my favorite template. I didn't want to do that. That is something I'll discuss here in a minute. I'm going to go to templates. I mentioned this before, this is kind of useless. There's way too many templates, and that's not the one I wanted. Selecting them, the icons here, pretty useless in my opinion. So if trying to find the, there. Now what is good is once you pick it for the whole use, every time I add a page, it remembers the template, and I can actually switch it. And I'll just pick a grid. Alright, so now I want to do some drawings. I got a nice grid here. Alright, when I go back, this one has the lines, this one has the grids, and by default it's going to pick up the last page used. So I can go back in here and say, no, now I need to go back to this template, and it's page 4. So now I got page 4 with lines, page 3 with squares. Very useful. It's actually, that works really, really well. The other nice thing about this advantage is it has this thing called layers. In a business setting, I don't know when you would actually need to do separate layers. That's more for drawings, etc. You're layering stuff on. But what's interesting is you can turn off the background. That's kind of neat. Okay, I think that is about it for this. Once again, there's a home button that takes you back here. You can put folders within folders. So now if I navigate here. So I'm into My Files, Meeting Test, Folder 3, and I can put a notebook in here. All right. Once again, it defaulted back to the pencil with the blank screen, not where I want to be. So every time I have to start a new node, I have to go in here, then I have to go find the template I want. Now I'm set. Change my ink to the pen I want. now I'm ready to go. A little bit of a pain, but I'm really responsive and pretty quick. Okay, and once again, put to sleep, nice and quick. Off it goes.